And I get blown away when I was doing the homework on the way here, if this is creme de la creme, because you're entrepreneurial. This is, to get in here, you've got to be growing. So if you have a big base, and looking at how young this space is, I'm shocked from '06 to be here. I thought that everybody would know, but I'm starting to learn it takes time, and that's where the opportunity is. It blows my mind that I can sit in a conference like this and say, it's not too late. It blows my mind that how many people here for their business, whether it's you or somebody in your business, go to twitter.com/search and search your brand or things around your brand every single day? Raise your hand. That's like 4% of this room. That means there's a huge opportunity. Creme de la creme, 4%, which means nobody else is really doing it. Right now, on your BlackBerry or phone, you can search your brand, your handle, on twitter.com/search and see what people are saying about you. It is 2012 almost, my friends. I have no idea how you can justify leaving any engagement behind on the social web in a 2011, 2012 world. None of you would be going out to pizza in your local town, sitting next to a couple, talking about your business, and you would have stayed shut. None of you. You would have all got caught up and said thank you, or how can I help you, or couldn't help but over here, but that's my company, thank you so much. None of you yet. All of you are leaving that in a scalable way on a daily basis. The reason I was able to grow my businesses was not because I was putting out good content. It's because every day, after producing 30 minutes of wine television, I spent 15 hours a day answering every single person's email and every single person's Twitter @reply and created context and relationship with that end user. These are the fucking people that buy our shit. And you're worried about all your internal shit, and you should, because I'm obsessed with operations, but I know people have been talking about that all day. These are the people that put the cash in your wallet, and we are leaving these engagements on the table. It blows my mind. Do you know how fun it is to answer what white wine goes with fish 68,000 times a year? It sucks shit, but I did it. By the way, it's not Pinot Grigio, get over that shit. Content is going to continue to grow. The ability to build a business in an online world is so low. If you think about the entrepreneurs before us, they were so unlucky. It cost so much more capital and time to build a business. The piping of the internet and the ecosystem we live in has allowed companies to come out of nowhere very, very quickly. What that means for all of you is that it's a race. It's a branding race, but most of all, it's a context race. To me, I start getting fascinated when companies start worrying about acquiring and start worrying about holding on to. When companies start worrying about hunting and start worrying about farming. Ideally, right? They won, right? One of our first clients. When we first started with them, a lot of push. Look at our shoes, look at this. We built a community talking about fashion, and then conversion went up. Kevin Ryan, Guilt Group. Those guys in Groupon and Living Social, local company here, Living Social, they understood how to map acquiring customers. It's a science. They figured it out. They have a cost, they retargeted, they put little cookies on you, you saw their ad everywhere, and they figured out the cost. The problem is when you look at a lot of businesses like those and others, their real challenge is retention. Retention is the game. Lifetime value is the game. And there's only one way to do it: humans. It's crazy. I'm building companies that have a crap load of humans. It's crazy. The human being is the value. Like I said, as we go new wave, the human being is where it's at. You can't outsource it. You can't automate real feelings. I'll leave you with this, and I want to do a couple questions. I was in a room with a very conservative CMO, and she was really drilling me. She was like, but what's the ROI of social media? And I'm giving her my best stuff. For example, if you want some best stuff, go look at what your engagement rate is on your Facebook page. You have a certain amount of fans, and then you have a post. Go look at the number. Is it 0.01? Is it 0.02? It doesn't matter how many fans and Twitter followers you have. It's how many of them are gonna buy something and give a fuck. So she's drilling me, and I'm giving her some really good metrics, at least for a 2011 world, and she's pushing, and I know why. She works in a conservative company, and the more conservative she comes across, the more likely she'll be the CEO. I get it, I'm fine. But she's pushing and pushing, and finally I look at her and I go, she's like, but Gary, what's the ROI? And I'm like, da-da-da. She's like, but what's the real ROI of social media? And I'm doing my normal thing, like, can you give me the ROI of television and print? Because I love that you spend a shitload of money on Vogue and you're buying the subscription, but can you guarantee me that somebody's looking at the ad on page 139? Because you can't. And I'm giving her everything I've got, and she's still punching me directly in the throat. So I had to pull it out. She goes, what's the ROI of social media? What's the ROI of social media? So I look at her and go, what's the ROI of your mother? She said, excuse me? I said, uh-oh. I said, I have no interest in making a mother joke, and I'm not making fun of you. But let me explain one thing to you. The ROI of my mother is everything. The reason I'm going to buy a multi-billion-dollar sports franchise is because of my mother. My mother, the way she parented me, which, oh, by the way, is perfectly, is the reason I have the ability, the confidence, and the absolute wherewithal to execute the businesses that I'm building. However, my friends at Inc. 500, I cannot come to you with slides and put them on those screens and say, over here, click, in 6th grade when I got a mullet, you know, and my mom said I was gorgeous and beautiful and I could do anything. Well, that was building self-esteem. And so what I did with that on the next slide is, you'll see here, I sold a couple more cases of wine in 1994 because of that self-esteem, which led to this. And now I can't show you. I can't show you in data the ROI of my mother, but I promise you, it's all of it. The whole kit and caboodle. Social's gonna prove it, because social has way better metrics than traditional. Some asshole stood at the top of a building with a clicker and counted how many cars drove by a billboard, and that's the metrics we're using. Do you know that people do little fucking Scantron-like cards to tell Nielsen's what shows they watched? Are you fucking kidding me? However, thank you for that one clap, that meant a lot. However, we keep poking holes in social. You know why? I know the size of your company is similar to what I'm used to. You're busy, you're doing a lot of stuff, and you need to grow, I get it. But please, audit yourself. Figure out what you're doing. When people always talk to me and say, but how do you scale this? I say, you take all the money you're spending on dumb shit and you put it into humans. Thank you.